Why did you take my light? The darkness will not
Thank